Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast Filtered. My name is Hannah.
My name is Rebecca.
My name is Celine.
I'm Benita.
And Sharon.
This podcast was made to just be a space for us to talk about random stuff and bring on people who can help us figure out life.
We have a special guest on today's episode. Her name is Lovely Chacko. She is one of the first people that encouraged us to get this podcast off the ground. She's also a mother to two of the girls in our group, but we all five of us see her as a mother figure. She's a leader, mentor, pastor's wife, and a mental health advocate. Welcome to the podcast, Lovely Auntie.
Woo! Our first guest.
I feel nervous. I feel absolutely nervous.
Why? Just imagine us all sitting at your dining table talking like we usually do. It's the cash talks.
It's girl chat.
Just a conversation. We're having fun. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
No.
Please. Please.
I'm not really sure what to say about myself, guys.
What makes you Lovely Chacko?
Are you married?
I am married. I mean, yes, I am. I came from India. I came to Brooklyn, lived in the Bronx, went to New Hyde Park, then went to Belrose, then went to Syosset, and then came back to New Hyde Park.
You traveled the 7 seas.
She's a true New Yorker, been to every borough.
It was terrible. It was very terrible.
Lala Mama. So
Yeah.
What was it like growing up, being a first-gen immigrant in the 80s?
Very difficult.
How so?
Let me see.
You're like the oldest of three, right?
I'm the oldest of three. And like your parents don't know anything except what they see on TV and what my mom heard in the nurse's break room at the hospital. So everything was based off of that. And they lived in fear because they didn't understand everything. So they were always scared about everything. But luckily I was a goody two shoes and I didn't want to do anything anyway. So
basically you were a loser.
Yeah. My childhood, I had a nice childhood at home, but my like, what do I say? Like I changed schools so many times. Like it was not a fun time, guys. I did not have fun.
Because you had to keep making friends, right? Because
yeah, and I'm not good at making friends. Yeah, so we're supposed to talk about relationships today, but I suck at relationships. Except for my husband, who is so forgiving and patient and kind with me.
Aww.
I love you, honey.
Oh, what's going on?
Shout out.
So how long have you been with can we say the name?
Yes.
My husband.
Yes.
Omen. How long have you well, listeners, best friends, we call him La Lu or La Poppin, because he actually is my uncle. So I will be calling him La Poppin, and some of them will be calling him Lop.
And some of us will be calling him Dad.
Cool. How long have you been together, and how did that all start?
Guys, this year will be 25 years that we're married.
Wait, what about how long have you guys been together in total, though?
25 years.
Lies.
Are we sure about that?
Oh, do we have a love marriage on our hands?
Mommy, daddy. I want the love marriage.
What are you
saying? How did you and Waffle meet?
College.
Expand. Did you guys have the same class? Did you meet each other in the courtyard?
Was it love at first sight?
No, it was not.
Hey, I'm telling Dad you said that.
We met at school through friends and things like that. And he was in pharmacy school at the beginning.
No, but didn't you guys know of each other?
But we all knew of each other because of PYFA.
Oh, PYFA.
Did you and Dad have classes together?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we had like one class or something like that together.
And did you guys sit next to each other?
No.
When did you start dating?
No, not dating.
Did you guys call each other Bull Bear?
Never.
Courtship. When did you guys start courting each other?
Girl, if only. I don't know. We were friends we became friends. We weren't absolutely close or anything in the beginning, but we got closer.
And closer and closer.
I feel uncomfortable discussing this.
Wait, Mom, wait, who made the first move? You or Dad?
I don't know. It's not like that.
What do you mean?
What do you think?
Dad?
Yeah, definitely.
Wait a second. So you consider you guys not dating? Or would you say you guys dated?
No, I think we were together after, I don't know what your definition of dating is. When I was in high school,
Okay.
I dating was me talking to somebody on the phone.
So how was like dating? How does dating look back then, like when you were going through it, like versus now? Like what was the difference?
The difference was you knew that you liked each other, and then you would look at each other and smile when you see each other at meetings, and then you were together, and then
Oh wow, that's really quick. You look at each other and y'all are
no, and
together?
then the whole time you can't really go out. We don't have you. First of all, there was like it's hard to get a phone call because basically we use like landlines. We don't have cell phones. You don't have computers, and yeah, so you gotta have code words.
Whoa.
Code words.
Hey, you were sneaking like that?
Code words, code names, not for Lalcha. I mean, yes, for Lalcha.
Wait, not for Lalcha. Who are you talking to other than Dad?
No, I'm just talking on a general nature. You know what I mean? Generalization. Like your relationship was basically phone calls because you
Wait,
saw each
so,
other
like-
maybe once in a
So
while.
you didn't meet up.
Not really, unless you could. Like you would probably
Like when your significant other will bring Chinese food to you to study together?
kidding me? Where would we do that?
Mom.
I thought Dad used to bring you Chinese food.
Oh, you're mistaken. You're mistaken.
That didn't happen?
What?
Didn't Dad bring you food?
No.
I know we're called filtered, but we're honest here.
This was only after he started working, and I brought him Chinese food when he was working.
Oh my god.
Ain't nobody bring me no Chinese food.
Oh.
Wait, so I have a question. Did you ever lie to your parents when you were going out saying that you're gonna
Absolutely not.
Mom? Look at your face. You liar.
Absolutely not. I plead the fifth.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you're so lucky, Rebecca, because your parents are so amazing, and you don't have to lie to them.
Moving on.
Yeah, Becky, you don't have to lie to them. Why do you lie?
I don't know what she's saying. Anyways, but for like you guys were kind of like the first like love couple, or like
What are you even talking about right now?
Weren't you guys one of the first couples, like one of the first ones in your families?
In our families?
yeah.
Yeah, we were the first.
Oh, you were the first?
In our family? Yeah, I'm the oldest in my family.
How did that go about? Like, how did you?
And he's the
approach them?
youngest, and all his brothers got married in India except
Wait,
him.
But did your parents want you to get an arranged marriage?
100%.
So how did they feel, or what was the
Because I
conversation
went,
like?
guys, my parents made me go get my citizenship and everything so that I could bring the guy here after I got married. And I actually talked to a couple of people.
Really? From
Ooh.
India?
Yeah.
But wait,
Yeah, from India.
weren't you
But
talking?
then how did you tell Dad, Apachamachi, about Dad?
So one time when they were bringing up a proposal, I told my mom, you know what? I actually think I like someone.
What do you mean you think?
Well, I had to say it nicely to her. I had to break it to her gently. She was not happy.
Wait, at this point though, how long have you and Dad been like dating?
Talking.
Or talking,
Courting.
not dating, courting.
Like officially, maybe like a few months. I think a few months.
Wow.
Oh,
When is your
really?
real anniversary?
No, it wasn't. It was never like that though. It wasn't like today's the day we started dating. It wasn't really like that. It was more of a friendship that somehow, turned into
Wait,
this.
can we talk more about this conversation you had with your mom though?
Ooh, my
'Cause-
mom's gonna be mad at me.
It's okay. Amachi's not gonna listen to this.
Amachi doesn't know what Spotify or RSS or is.
No, my mom said I can't say it.
Say it.
Say it.
She's like, "Who is it?" And when I told her who it was, she's like, "Oh, I knew it. He brainwashed you. He brainwashed you into liking him." I'm like, what kind of nonsense
She
is
thought
that?
it was a brainwashing.
Well, that's her English word, but I'm sure
Yeah.
in Malayalam she was thinking something else in her head. But anyway, she told my dad, but he never said anything to me. But here's what I want to tell you guys. It was like a few days later, and it was like a whole big whatever, and she wasn't happy and blah blah blah. And then a few days later, I was in the house doing some kind of work, like I don't know, I think I was sweeping the floor or vacuuming, and she came home, and then she kind of passed by me, and then she said, "By the way, I just wanted to let you know I prayed about it, and it's good. It's fine."
Aww,
And
that's
mom,
nice.
and mom was like, "Really, you mean it?"
But then everything moved so quickly. I thought if I told them, like, it was just kind of be like an open like we're gonna have conversation. I feel like the next day they were getting me married. I was like, what just happened?
Okay.
Yeah, my dad didn't wait. He literally was like, okay, give me the number. I'm gonna call his brother. Blah 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 blah. And before I knew it, I was getting married the day before my graduation.
Oh my
from
gosh.
school.
Wait, so how soon
Crazy.
after that conversation did you get married?
She does not remember.
I don't remember.
Couple
But I mean,
months?
no, but it was already within the next couple of weeks that
What?
conversation my dad had already spoken to their his brother and
Yeah.
like talked about it and blah blah blah, and things were already
Wait,
in the
mom,
works.
why don't you say, wasn't the brother, the daughters is on this call?
What?
Did it, your officer call Reg before?
Does his name rhyme with Norge G?
Wait, he called pastor?
Yes.
Why pastor?
Oh.
I don't know actually.
He wasn't even a pastor
So
back then.
interesting.
Dang.
Oh my God.
Everybody knew him, even though he wasn't a pastor, because of like
Oh, he was
like
a social butterfly.
Yeah, but wait,
like- yeah.
what did what did he possibly say like they can get married?
No, I don't even know what the conversation was, but I guess he wanted to talk about that, this was going on and that we were interested in each other. And I don't remember if he called my dad or my dad called him. I can't actually remember. And then the rest is history. And here we
Wait, do
are
you
25 years later.
Do you feel like you were ready to get married?
No.
Wait, how
So
old were you? 25 years.
No, guy, I didn't have time to think about it though.
She was 22 when you got married, right?
22 and a half.
Oh my god! You know what I think it is? Like when you tell your parents, maybe back then, like the idea of you having someone, they're like, okay, can't have anything happen, must get married.
What's gonna happen, Hannah?
I think that's now too.
No, but that's what it always is. They didn't in India, they don't like long engagements and things like that because they don't know what can happen in between, or I don't just mean between people. I mean just even like if things like don't work, like they move,
Fall out
like
and
somebody
stuff.
falls, someone like backs out or
Yeah.
Oh, did your spiritual journey change while you were dating or courting, speaking, talking?
My mom went from the talking phase to marriage, bro.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
you would say your spiritual journey was pretty much the same.
I don't know. I didn't really have time to think about it.
wow, it moved that quick.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Guys, I was in my last year of pharmacy school. I mean, who's thinking about marriage? I'm like trying to get past my classes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's
were you
true.
praying for your future spouse
No.
at that time or not
No.
at all?
Really?
You know what? To be
So-
honest, I was not. I'm sure my parents were though.
I was gonna say, in that time between like, okay, your parents are talking to his family now, getting everything ready. How were you preparing yourself for marriage, or were you at all?
I really wasn't.
Scary.
Is that what you felt? Is that why you felt like not prepared when you got married?
Yeah, I didn't know nothing.
So how was the first year of marriage like then? Like, were you guys just like bickering?
No,
Like, I feel like,
no.
sorry.
We were not bickering, but we definitely saw the differences in us, because I think that he expected me to be a certain person and I expected him to be a certain person, and we're like, oh, you're not like
Neither
that.
of us are like that.
So it was kind of like interesting, okay.
You
So
learned a
there was a
lot.
lot of like, yeah, learning. It was like a learning curve. I'm not gonna say I wasn't ready or ready. If I look back, I would probably say I I wasn't ready, because you guys have so much like resources. You talk about it. You have like so much out there that you can actually learn from. There's like premarital classes for you, that you can do. I mean, there's just so much, and you have time. Like, it's not like you're trying to pass like chemistry and like at the same time
Yeah.
figure out that you're gonna get married. But yeah, I don't know. I was also kind of like a okay, that's fine kind of person.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, to say that you did, so you technically, like, you didn't have all that stuff and you were like, it all happened really quick. But did you have like a confirmation or like a piece about it? Like, you had to have, right? To go into it.
Yeah, actually, because here's the thing. I think we both came from the same kind of values, and you could see that. So here's what I always tell the kids. I don't know if they ever listen to me, but here's what I always tell them. Like, if you honestly like someone that I would not go and be like, I like you, like the day after I realize I like them. I would want to like just get to know them as just like a friend or a person, because I think it's super important that they're not just kind to you or other people because they're trying to impress you, but that's who they genuinely are. Like, you want to see how they treat the people around you, their family, and who they are as when they're genuine and not trying to impress a girl, or a girl trying to impress a guy. Same, it can go for either way, so I think that I saw that he was just like a really good person,
You want
good
to see
guy.
their unfiltered self.
Okay, plug.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions from our listeners on Instagram.
I can try. I'm not a relationship guru.
Yeah, but you're
Also,
smarter
I
than
feel like
us.
no, not always. You know what? Not always. Now I realize if I'm like this many years old, and I'm like, I'm just starting to feel I feel like I'm just starting to understand relationships. Like, I'm not good at relationships. I've never been good at relationships. I'm not even just talking about a husband wife or a romantic relationship. I'm also talking about like
Friendships.
friendship and parental, like mom, daughter, like I love them, but like, like I'd never.
Hey, yo.
No, even with my mom, I'm not my parents.
Mom, you call your mommy every day for like 40 minutes twice a day.
Now I do. Now. But I'm
think you've
saying,
yeah.
yeah, like if I knew the important, like I feel like I kind of coasted through relationships. Like, not that I didn't love them, like I loved my friends, but I feel like I didn't. Well, maybe when I was younger, but as I got older, I feel like I just, like, I don't know. It's complicated.
you prioritized other things.
It's not
over-
even prioritized. Like, I just didn't know how to really. I think it's because honestly, if there's things in your life that you haven't dealt with, or insecurities, or like you come in with baggage into your marriage or into a relationship, and you kind of project that into a relationship, like it's like it has a big impact on it. I'm like, so I think that's important that like you be aware of it, and yeah, and also importance of it. Like the friendships that I had at that time, I still consider those to be like, honestly, it's just so impactful in my life. It made such a difference. Like, I don't know. I feel like I can never have those kind of relationships again, but they were like so important to me, even to this day. But like I kind of, I feel like I didn't put as much effort as I should have, later in life. And that's not only because I didn't want to, it's just there's just a lot. I don't know, it's like a lot going on.
have you reconnected with those people after you learned or learning through this process?
With some of them, yeah. I think that I did reconnect with a couple of them, but it's not the same because they've all moved on with their friends. It's not, there's no hate relationship. There's no like nobody hate, it's not like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they moved on
um,
with their lives.
yeah, they
Mhm.
moved on with their lives. They're
It's
they're
just
close to other
different.
people.
It's the
you know,
dynamic is
and
different.
which is fine. It's not like they're not. And they're still. I still have even those friends that are still there for me. If I need anything, I know that I can still. Even if we don't talk every day or whatever, if I need something and I'm, and I felt that. And when I was like when I got sick a couple of years ago, like they really just came through for me in prayer, sitting with me or visiting with me or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I still value those friendships, but I can see where I went wrong. I told my friend recently, like not recently, I want to say last year, I had to go. I felt like I needed to apologize to her because I went to tell her that I really felt like I was just like a nice friend, but I wasn't a good friend.
What does that even mean?
What do you think? This is what I mean.
Uh,
Like, you can have a nice friendship where you're just like really hang out with a person and whatever, and no matter what they do or whatever, you kind of just go along with everything. But if you're a really good friend, then you're just going to be looking out for them, and regardless of the outcome or the consequence, you want to make sure that you're honest with them, or if they're doing something that's not right, you're not going to just not say it because you don't want confrontation or you don't want to lose their friendship. You're going to say it because you love them and you want the best for them, and that's what makes a good friend. And so that's like even in a marriage, like you want to be able to be honest with them and be like, yeah, this is, it's not like everything just goes. It's like, hey, this is not right because of, and not in a critical way, but like, this is not right because of so and so and so. So I hope you guys do that for each other, like you're able to be honest with each other. Be like, yo, don't do that. It's not good for you. Don't go with him. He's not good for you.
He's not good for you.
He's not good for you.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, so one of the questions from the audience, what's your best relationship advice you can give, or advice you would give to the current generation that is dating / looking for their life partner?
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, I think because it's hard to do it in like one little podcast. I think it's like
Hey, do not call this a little podcast.
No, I'm sorry. The timing. I'm talking about the
this
timing.
This is a massive podcast.
I'm talking about the timing. It's hard to do it in such a short duration because.
All right, we'll give you a minute and 30 seconds.
No.
Rebecca Lynn.
Okay, I don't know what would be my best relationship advice. First, the one I said before about.
Oh wait, yeah, she already said it, kind of.
Like, trying to get to know the person before you're romantically involved with them, like as a person. Mm-hmm. See if you share the same values, right? Like if you don't share the same values and you're just like, ooh, I love him because he's cute, and you're like,
who said that? What?
Why are you looking at me? I never said that. I never said I love him because he's cute.
Becky.
Who's him?
Yeah.
Well, she just looked at me as if I've ever said that about any person.
I'm just looking at you. Like, it can't be based on that because attraction fades, just so you know.
But I also think attraction is
up.
very important.
No, nobody said it wasn't important.
I think attraction is what draws you to the person in the first place.
No, it is important. No one's saying it's not. But if you only base it on that.
No, yeah. I think both is combined. But, like, I feel like if you don't have an attraction to that person, like...
But don't you think it's possible, like, once you get to know somebody that you're attracted to them?
Oh, 100%. But I feel like say someone comes up to you or, like, someone texts you or something like that, like, you wouldn't really respond if you don't think they're like somewhat attractive in the first place.
You wouldn't even give them a chance? What if they're a wonderful person?
I don't know.
Becky's saying that their face is what brings you to them, but their personality is what makes you stay.
There you go.
Girl.
That's what I meant. Okay, so there's another question that someone asked, and
wait, I want to say something.
Oh, sorry.
Be authentic. Like, don't try to pretend like to be something else when you're with a person, because
like just
eventually
agreeing to agree.
Huh?
Just like agreeing with a person just to agree.
No, not even just that. Like, you try to like I don't know how to like you try to be somebody you're not, just like because you try to impress a person or whatever, and then guess what, guys, when you're together, um there's no way to hide yourself when you're at home with them, and then it's all like, wait a minute, like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, this is off topic, but not really, but do you think it's hard going straight from your parents' house straight to living with your husband? Because like I feel like I really don't want that.
Where are you gonna go?
I don't know, but like you literally go straight from living with your parents and then straight to living with your husband. Like, what?
That's it. You and me, apartment.
No, for real. Like I always thought that
No,
was
yeah,
so
I
weird.
agree with you, Beck. I agree with you.
You didn't
because-
feel weird when doing that, Mom?
Did I feel weird doing that? No, because it was kind of the norm. It
I'm
wasn't
literally
weird.
so freaked out to do that because I'm sitting here, not gonna. Okay, let me not expose myself.
Don't say it.
I literally don't cook. I literally do not cook, and I'm.
Anna, it's okay. I'm 25 years old and I don't cook. So
Okay, guys,
God
can I ask you a
bless mine.
question?
That idea like freaks me out. Like what Becky said, like leaving here and going somewhere else. I want to be here forever. I don't want to leave. I'm fine here.
I didn't know how to cook either when I got married.
And still, I'm just kidding.
That was very rude. This is why our relationship is strained.
Oh no.
This is why I moved to Ohio.
See, like you, no, but hey, but my mom literally went from her house to like straight to like,
Yeah.
for your husband. Which actually is another question for that Sharon brought up before. And it's like in the Bible, like why does it use the term submissive to describe how women should act in relation to their husband?
Ooh, girl, don't go there.
I have to go there. They always say it. It's like the favorite quote in every wedding, and they bring it up. It's like wives always have to be submissive, and it just gets
It bothers
my skin
you?
crawling.
It bothers you?
It bothers me, but then I try not to be bothered because it's like biblical. So I'm like, you have
Jesus
to
said it. Gotta do
Well,
it.
what do you think submission? What do you think they meant by submit to your husband?
Sunday school lesson.
Okay.
Like in my
Do
head,
everything he
it's just,
says.
yeah, it's like, oh, you have to like take the back seat in situations and kind of let him lead. And I'm just like, wait, I have my own brain, right? Like I have my own education, I have my own thoughts. Why can't I put my thoughts and considerations into this problem?
Well, have you, when you see a marriage, do you see it, how do you see it working in other marriages?
I see it, well, I see it as like partnerships, but I feel like this is saying like, oh, wives have to be submissive to the husband. That's why I was getting confused.
Like do the cooking, do the cleaning, like do
Like
everything
what does
for
that
them.
mean? Like biblically, what does that mean? Like wives have to be submissive, because people can take it all these different ways. You have to walk one step behind me, like kind of thing.
When I read, I read a thing about this chapter, and I don't know if this is, I'm so sorry to our podcast listeners. I'm so sorry if this is incorrect. I'm just saying what I heard. That they said that when Paul was writing that, it was more directed to the people of the church he was writing to. And then, so like, not that we don't have to take it that we don't take it seriously, but like it's different the way we look at it now versus how it was meant for back then.
Yeah,
is that correct?
But they still use it.
I don't know. That was just something I read.
There are things that say that, but I just have to say, like, I think it's you're looking at it as like a bad word. Like when we were created and God created a helper, right? I created a helper for Adam. It was when you're a helper, you are with that person working hand in hand to get right, like to accomplish whatever mission that he has given you. Like when you get married, it's not just like, hey, be married and be happy. It's more like, hey, like this brings glory to my name. Marriage is something that I delight in, and you as a helper to your husband is you're accomplishing something together. So you're helping him in that mission, or you're helping him in that, right? That's kind of what it is. And when I look at submit, I don't really, I guess because I'm married, and I don't really look at it like the word of God says that. Even I think in other, like, you, when you look at marriage, you can't just, or anything in the Bible, you can't just look at one verse and then just pick that out and that's what it is, you know. And submit doesn't mean like you're like a doormat and your husband walks all over you or anything like that. It doesn't, I don't think that was the intention of Paul. It was more of like, okay, and we always talk about, okay, wives love your, I mean, submit to your husbands, but it also says husband love your wives as Christ loved the church. So how did Christ love the church?
Amazingly.
Thank you, Hannah.
Oh my God, you're wheezing.
No.
Oh my God, someone got her the inhaler.
Oh my Lord.
Hey, fix it. Like,
Guys, that's how I laugh.
No, I'm like, if you had to answer that question, what would you say? How did Christ love the church?
Unconditionally.
Okay. What else did he do?
With the servant's heart.
Okay. And he laid down his life. That's how he loved the church, right?
So my husband has to lay his life down for me.
He does.
Yes.
That's his God-given job and responsibility, right? And so when you say submit to Christ, okay, Sharon, I'll talk to you because you're like, when it says submit to Christ, right? What does that mean to you?
That basically, like, I lay my life down and like
You give
trust in him.
Yeah, you trust in him and you give your heart
and I
to
have
him.
no problem with that.
But can I ask you something? Why do you submit to him? Why do you submit to Christ? Like, why do you do things to? Why would you do it?
Because I trust him.
Because she
It's
allows
like,
him.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
love him. And that's what submission comes out of. When you learn to love someone, you understand that it's not just about laying, like if you're in an abusive relationship, no one's going to tell you, hey, submit to that. You need to get away and be safe,
That's,
you know, and then you
yes.
can work. That's, no one would say that to you.
See, I never understood like that part because I was like,
Yeah.
are you
Thank
supposed
you
to
for
stay
clarifying.
are you supposed to stay in a relationship?
No,
because,
if it's one thing to say, hey, like I might want to work it out, but if you fear for your life or if you're in an abusive relationship, no one is telling you you have to stay in that home and take abuse. I mean, that's was me. This is me speaking. I don't know if anybody else would say that, but
Yeah.
I'm saying you leave and you find a safe place and you pray about it. And then if I mean, can people change? Of course, I think so. But I'm just saying that's not what submit means. It doesn't mean you lay down and let somebody walk all over you and abuse you or, you know, verbally or physically. It's not, that's not how it works. Submission means it's a mutual thing, right? Like you, first of all, as another like another believer, forget if it's a husband or a wife, you respect them as a, right? They're also made in the image of God. So you as husband and wife respect each other as both being made in the image of God. Like you're both important. And then submission doesn't just mean like, you know, and so I think it's the connotation of what it is, because honestly, it's just because of things that you hear and see all around you. And so that kind of influences, it's just about like talking about like sex. Like it's like a bad word, but really, was I supposed to say that?
That's a clean podcast.
Do we need to bleep that out?
Yes.
No,
I don't think
not.
so. No, I don't think.
No, why? Why do we need to bleep that?
But you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes things are turned
Yes.
into like bad things because of the connotation it brings, but you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, and
You want to come back for when we talk about sex?
when is that happening? Because I'm gonna be absent. I'm gonna be absent.
Bro, imagine.
I'm a minor. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. You're 20 years old.
I have a question. When do you honor culture versus honor your heart? Like, what is that boundary, that line?
What does that mean?
Like, honor your culture.
So I have an example, specifically about interracial relationships. So, because like in the Malayali community, like it's very heavily like you must marry another Malayali. You have to be with somebody that's also brown. But like the Bible says you should be with somebody that's equally yoked. That I think is like the more important thing. So if we find somebody that's like not Malayali, they're equally yoked though. Christian, love the Lord, very servanthood heart mentality, whatever the words are. But what do you do in that circumstance? Do you honor your culture in marrying a brown person that may not be the greatest person alive, or honor your heart and be with the person that you love and is equally yoked to you?
Are you trying to get me in trouble?
Do it.
What is the line? Does that make sense? Is that like a
No, I understand what you're saying, but you're basing it on this is really a conversation for you to have, first of all, with the Lord. Second of all, with your parents.
See, that's where it goes wrong.
Also, I just want to put a disclaimer out. I did not got no man. We're not talking about me specifically. This is just a example.
General.
Okay. I think if the person, first of all, you have to be sure, like, is this person just, if your faith is important to you, is this person just in your faith because of you, or like, you know, you have to see what's important to you. Like, what are you not going to compromise on? Okay. Second of all, priority to me is faith. Like, that's something that I can't compromise on for me, right? Maybe some people can. So for me, that's important because I know where what direction I want to go in. So you have to decide, like, what direction that you want to go in.
What are your priorities?
What are your priorities? And then between honoring culture and honoring, that is a really hard question because I have seen it go both ways, you know, where I know the word of God says to honor your parents, and it's important in our culture to honor our parents. But that's, to be honest, it's a really a big decision that it's going to take a lot of prayer, a lot of talking. I honestly think if it's meant to be, like, I think it'll work out. That sounded like so cliche, but I think it'll work out if you just honestly just put it, like, place it before God and say, like, because you got to, okay, here's the thing. Here's what it is. What's your motive? Like, are you just marrying them because you're just like, oh, I want to marry outside the culture, or I just want to, like, do this or do that, or, as a person, I would probably just say, I think faith is the most important thing for me. Do we want to see, you marry someone in the Malay culture because, obviously it's easier to
relate to them,
or, it's just something you expect because that's how you grew up. It's just like a mentality that you grow up with, right? So I can't really say that it's like I think it's like just a loaded question that it's hard to answer, and, like, it's not a cookie cutter question. Like, I can't just
there's
be
many
like,
aspects to it.
Yeah, there's many aspects to it, and I feel like it's on an individual basis. Like, what might be right for you may not be right for her. Like, it has to be something that and how you approach it. It's and I'm not here to say, like, oh, what, throw your parents out the window, like, don't listen to what they say, they don't know anything, follow your heart. Like, your heart can be deceiving. Like, you can't always follow your heart. You have to be able to be mature about it and say, like, yeah, all right, this is what I want, this is the direction that I want, what are the values that I'm looking for, what am I looking, what is important to me for the future. There's, like, so many aspects to it, I think.
Do you believe in only telling your parents when, like, you know for sure?
Yeah, do you believe in telling your parents only when you think you're gonna marry this person, or do you, like,
you have to know your parents and the kind of people they are, how they're going to react, what is it, and you have to be able to be accountable to somebody, like, also, I think it's important. I think accountability is like out the window these days.
Okay, but like what happens if you're dating someone and you're like, I don't feel it. Like not that you don't feel it, but it's like I've got to know this person or him or her. If you're talking to someone, right? And then you're like, you guys are like dating, boyfriend and girlfriend, a few months go by, a year goes by, and you're like, listen, like this is actually not the person I'm supposed to be with, and then you move on. Like, do you consider that being like, what the heck? Because a lot of parents would be like, why are you talking to boys?
I don't think a lot of parents going to be like, why are you talking to boys?
No, but I feel like in this culture, it's like, don't talk to boys, don't talk to boys, don't talk to boys. Why aren't you married? I'm like, what? For all
you do not even get me started on that topic.
Like,
that's a whole different podcast.
Like, don't look at boys, and then next day it's like, when are you getting married?
Did I ever say that to you, Rebecca?
I'm speaking on behalf of everyone.
It's not because they don't want you to talk to boys, because I know you talking to boys. Stop it down.
That.
None of us lovely Chacko, but get your priorities straight. Thank you.
But I don't even know what a boy is.
But it's not because they don't want you to talk to them. They're just like, when they say to you, don't talk to boys, they're saying to you, please don't get into a million different relationships and do everything and then go to the next guy. I think that's what they're probably thinking in their head. Because I always told the girls, like, I really don't want them to date when they were in high school, because you're young. You don't really even know what you want. So obviously you're just with them because you just want to have fun, you know. But like, I just didn't really want them dating in high school, because I just think, you know, not that they couldn't get to know anybody or whatever. I just didn't want, you know, like, I don't know. I didn't want them dating so many different people. I just think that doesn't say, yeah, like, I don't know. I didn't think it was necessary. Getting to know someone is different than dating someone. But I think if you're going to go out with someone and like get to know them, and then you decide like, you know what, I don't think this is the person for you, I would be like, yeah, okay, then let it not be the person for you. I don't want you to just be like staying in that relationship or try to get married because you're like, now I don't know what to do. Because I already got to know them and went out with them.
And told mom and dad.
But that's why you don't tell mom and dad.
Well, that's up to you. I'm not giving. I can't tell you.
Also, if you don't tell mom and dad, and what if you're cousins?
What happened? That's a real concern for Sharon, because she's related to
my fear.
So funny,
bro.
But Sharon, why can't you tell your parents that you're talking to someone?
Well, now I can, but when I was like 20, even in college, if I was saying that I was talking to someone, I promise you I would have been just like your scenario, and I would have been married the next year. Like, or in a couple of months. Because also I'm also first generation here. It's like kind of different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of have to weigh my options of like, do I tell my parents now, or should I tell them more when I'm closer to like when I know? But at the same time, again, I'm scared. I'm like, what if I'm related to the dude? Like, then what? Then what?
It's a possibility, Shar.
That's why it's so hard to give like general advice, because I feel like everyone's different. You have to know your parents. But at the same time, if you decide that you're not going to tell your parents that you're talking to someone because you feel like, you know, it just wouldn't like be in your best interest, you also have to be accountable on what your relationship is going to be with that person. You know, I mean, that's how I feel. You know, I feel like, hey, if you're going to get to know them, you're going to go out for coffee.
What's the difference between, like, if I tell my parents, well, like, my parents are not going to come on dates with me. You're not going to come on a date with me, Maj.
Why? We could double date.
Ew!
You're not gonna come on a date with me, Maj.
What does that mean? I'm not saying I'm gonna come.
You're saying that like if you don't tell your parents and your parents, like, but your parents are not gonna be your accountability partner.
No, but I'm saying at least you know that they know, and you're like the way that you probably behave with that person or whatever, or what you're gonna do with that person. Like, where are you gonna go? You know, is going to be, I don't know. I just think you have a little bit more accountability with that. I mean, if you
really
sometimes
secret, right?
Yeah, if you're doing things in secret and nobody knows, sometimes you just fall into situations that you later are like, I should not have done that. And then if you try to break off that relationship, that becomes so complicated. and then you're just going to carry that with you, you know? So I think it's like, hey, I don't mind someone taking you out for a few times, like, hey, go to coffee, go to dinner, and
Becca,
like,
I'm on my way.
or talking to them, and then telling them, then like, oh, you know what, I don't think this is a person for me. I'm like, okay, just, you know what?
What if you already, like, what if you met the person? What if I introduce you to them and then I'm like, hey, like, I don't think this person is good for me. And then you see them at a party, like, are you gonna give them a dirty look for me?
Yes, my mama don't like you, and
This is
She
the
do like
second
that
time
one.
Beneath Mama quoted Justin Bieber in our
And I'm getting ready for the concert.
podcast.
Side note, do you guys know my mom asked if she can come?
No way.
God, come
Tell-
with
yes,
us.
come
She
with
was like,
us.
why did you assume that I didn't want to go?
No, she
I was
cannot.
like,
Oh,
It's fine. I'll find my own friends eventually.
that was so sad.
Aw.
Someone puts Hannah, edit some sad music
Shut
behind that
up.
one,
Take
please.
Emma. Wait. I have one final question. Mom, what's your red flag or ick
You know what ick is?
in men? Like before.
Like, I'll give
assume
you an
it's something
example.
that
I'll
you
give you an example. Like, one of my icks is like when we're at like a wedding or like a party and stuff, right? And then everyone's dancing and the guy's trying to get in the circle, but like no one's letting him, and he's just in the back, like. Oh, and when a guy
I thought it was
smells really bad, like stuff like that. Like, what puts you off? Even though you're married for
Do you want
25
to know
years.
my ick?
Yeah.
When a guy is getting a haircut and he has
Yeah.
to wear the cape and his head is popping out.
What's the weirdest? What?
Yo, I was crying.
Or you know another ick that I have? When something falls on the floor
Oh my god, I was just gonna say
and
that,
a
Hannah.
guy is trying to pick it up but it keeps rolling
It
away.
keeps
from him.
going away, and they have to keep walking to go pick it up. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's so
And like they're
embarrassing.
kicking it with their feet like that. Oh my god.
How many guys
Anyways.
do you know that do this?
No, I'm just thinking about it. But you know, icks could be deeper than that. Like what's a red like not those scenarios, but you know.
Yeah, ick is more like a silly one, and then red flag is more like a oh my god, like
Deep
I see that.
rooted issues, problems there.
Okay, so what's your ick and what's your red flag? If
don't
anyone
know.
does anyone also have a red flag or ick to share with my mom?
What was
Shara
that?
just found out.
My ick. Wait, what did you say?
No, like Shara just found out how to like even deal with the term red flag.
Differentiate.
Yeah.
Differentiate between the two. Yes. No, but my ick is when when a guy takes a selfie in front of the mirror. That is something that gets under my skin. And then they put the peace sign up.
Make sure Lop never does any of this stuff.
Or
else
else
he'll look so different.
Imagine dad taking a selfie with in the mirror with the peace sign, like the duck face. I don't think mirror selfies are that bad, but it becomes really cringe when like I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, do you have an ick?
I don't know what my ick is. I have to think about it.
Like, there's so many things that you think is like whatever. Like if a guy
Tight pants.
Tight pants.
Dude, some guys should not be wearing that. But that's not my ick. I don't know. I don't look at it that way. I can't think about it like objectively because I'm already married. And anything I say, it will be based on what he does.
Okay, lovely mamas, thank you so much for joining us and being our first guest. This
Thank
is
you,
a very,
guys.
very special episode.
Guys, I just want to say, I think you're doing a fantastic job at this podcast, Filtered Breaking Brown. I mean, I could not be prouder. Honestly, I think it's a great start to your podcast. I mean, I'm honored that you picked me to be your first guest. I'm not sure why, but I'm so.
Give us some tears.
I don't have any tears, but I want to say, you know, like when we were growing up, I feel like, you know, you couldn't really do everything that you wanted to because you always had to worry about, like, I don't know, the opportunities weren't the same. People saw, like, honestly, if we did something like this, people would probably think that we're like heathen. Like,
They have the ick.
People definitely do.
People 100%
definitely are getting secondhand embarrassment from this podcast.
Not just embarrassment. I feel like we would have, like, somebody would have yelled at us or something.
What the?
Right? Because you're sharing your life. It just wouldn't happen. But I'm glad you guys are doing it. And I hope you have, like, I hope it heads in a good direction where you guys provide not just humor and comedy and fun topics.
So you think we're funny.
Okay. But I think, you could really, like, have, like, good information, a place for people to listen and ask questions without being judged. And I think that's super important, to have a safe place. The end.
And can we also just say that Lovely Auntie really supported this from the beginning when this was just a tiny little seed of a thought to do?
No, she had no, like, not even a single second thought. She was like, yes, that's a great idea. Like, 100% full on support. And I honestly really appreciated that. So thank you. So anyway, guys, follow us on our Instagram, Filter the Podcast, Spotify, and Apple Podcast.
And RSS.
See you next time.
And RSS.
Ask us questions. Link in
Let
Instagram
us know
bio.
what you
It's
wanna see
anonymous.
and who you would want to get on the podcast that is attainable at this time. Thanks, guys. We love you so much. Jesus loves you.
Bye.